Columbus City Council meeting for March 18th, 2024 will now come to order. In compliance with the Nebraska Open Meetings Act, a current copy of this act is posted in this meeting room. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Bulkley.
Here.
Alarcon. Here. Barr.
Here.
Freshour.
Here.
Hemer.
Here.
Jablonski.
Here.
Lopez.
Here.
Roth.
Here.
Schilling.
Here.
Mayor Bulkley, the roll has been called.
Thank you. Mr. Council President.
Thank you. Our Father, thank you for the opportunity to serve our fellow citizens. Please give us your wisdom and guidance to make proper decisions entrusted to this governmental body. May our conduct show respect, honor, and courtesy to each other, as well as to all our citizens. Amen.
Sorry.
Councilman Schilling, would you lead us,
Yeah, I think we.
please?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good job.
Thank you, Councilman. That was very well done. Apologize for the slight inconvenience, and let's hope the rest of our meeting doesn't go that way. Welcome, everyone, to tonight's meeting. If at any time during our meeting this evening, anyone in our audience would like to address the council, we'd ask that you please come forward. We ask you give your name, your address, and then we'd ask that you keep your comments to 5 minutes or less regarding agenda items. With that, we'll move forward with the consent agenda.
Item 4, consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a City Council member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from consent status and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Item 4A, minutes of the March 4th, 2024 City Council meeting. Item 4B, minutes of the March 4th, 2024 Community Development Agency meeting. Item 4C, minutes of the March 4th, 2024 Civil Service Commission meeting, certifying Tim Mosier, Derek Salick, Ryan Sabata, and JoJo Dunn as fire captain candidates. Item 4D, reappointment of Jessica Caban to the Civil Service Commission for a 5-year term. Item 4E, resolution number R24-29, approving the permanent drainage easement agreement with George R. Novak and Carolyn J. Novak. Item 4F, Finance Department reports. And item 4G, payroll and bills on file. Mr. Mayor and council members, is there anything you would like removed from consent status?
Mr. Mayor, I move that the items on the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Brings us up to public hearing.
Item 7A, public hearing, application of SKL LLC doing business as Maria's Authentic Mexican Cuisine and Riverside Lounge for a Class C liquor license at 265 33rd Avenue.
Is there anyone here in the audience to speak against this public hearing? Is there anyone here in this audience to speak for this public hearing?
Mr. Mayor, I move the public hearing be closed.
Second. Prior to closing the public hearing, is there a representative from Maria's Authentic Mexican Cuisine here in the audience?
I believe there is. Would you like to come forward in case there's a question for you? Do you have a question?
I have no question.
Oh, no.
I'm
I'm
sorry. There's no-
just very interested that they're here and making an appearance. Thank you very much.
All right. We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Mr. Mayor, I move we make a recommendation to the Nebraska Liquor Control Commission to approve the application of Maria's Authentic Mexican Cuisine and Riverside Lounge for a Class C liquor license.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passed. Was that the old one?
That was the first one, sorry. There's definitely- There you go.
Motion passes.
Item 7A1, application of Maria's Authentic Mexican Cuisine and Riverside Lounge for Stephen Long as manager in conjunction with the liquor license. I'm sure I didn't pronounce that correctly.
We have a motion.
Move the application be approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the application. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 7B, public hearing, application of Granville Custom Homes LLC for final plat and development agreement of West Elks Second Subdivision. This is south of 68th Street and 56th Avenue Place. The Planning Commission recommends approval.
Is there anyone here this evening to speak against this public hearing? Anyone here to speak for this public hearing?
Mr. Mayor, move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Any discussion?
Prior to closing the public hearing, is there a representative from Granville Homes?
There is. Do you have questions for the individual?
No, I just want to make sure that there is a representative here.
There is.
Could he come forward and introduce himself, please?
Good evening, John Zwingman with Advanced Consulting Engineering Services, here representing Granville Homes on this matter.
Thank you very much.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 7B1, resolution number R24-30, approving the final plat and development agreement.
Mr. Mayor, I move resolution number R24-30 be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number R24-30. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 7C, public hearing application of Ziegler Investment Properties LLC to rezone property located on the north side of 8th Street at 10th Avenue from R3 Multifamily Residential District to B2 General Commercial District and amend the future land use map of the comprehensive plan. The Planning Commission recommends approval.
Is there anyone here to speak against this public hearing? Is there anyone here to speak for this public hearing? Please come forward and identify yourself.
Good evening. My name is Amy Seisig, and I'm an attorney with McGill Gottsteiner Law Firm representing the applicant. I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye, those opposed nay. Motion passes.
Item 7C1, ordinance number 24-07, approving the rezoning.
Mr. Mayor, I move the rules be suspended and ordinance number 24-07 be read by number only.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to read ordinance number 24-07 by number only. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye, those opposed nay. Motion passes.
Ordinance number 24-07.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of ordinance number 24-07.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number 24-07. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye, those opposed nay. Motion passes. Brings us up to reports of city offices.
Item 9,
I guess that's not a report of city office, is it? Kind of.
Yep. Item 9A, update of the Nebraska Department of Transportation 23rd Street Reconstruction Project. City Engineer Rick Bogus, please.
So I'm sure you've noticed that the 23rd Street project is well underway. They are on schedule with the East 6th Avenue intersection. There's about a quarter of it done, so that's that schedule that I gave you last time, so they're doing fine there. And on that segment 2, again, segment 2 is from 16th Avenue to 26th Avenue. They've got pretty far in their milling operations, starting removals, which immediately be followed by the piping work. So they're actually on scheduled on that too. I think I've seen a lot of traffic to the businesses along there using the back way in, if you will. So I think it's working pretty well. But I encourage people to keep doing that because that seems to keep some of the traffic off of 23rd a little bit. So I think the DOT's report and everything is as planned.
Any questions for Mr. Bogus?
Rick, do you have an update on when maybe 18th Avenue will be open? There's been a lot of contention on that.
Oh, yeah. So about maybe a little bit less than 30 days now. What the contractor wants to do is get that, that's at the beginning of their work. So they want to get the pipe crews through there and then they will temporarily open 18th Avenue. So about 30 days.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
What's the sequencing of the quadrants at Walmart?
I don't know if I know that. I think they want to keep it on the south, the southeast and southwest sides and then move the other side. I think that's what they said at the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you. Reports of council, no.
Item 9B, 2023 tax increment financing report.
Do we have anyone to just give a brief summary of this report, please?
Our Finance Director, Heather Lindsley, prepared the report. She can give a brief overview.
So it's been a year again. Seems like we do this all the time, right? Go to the Excel spreadsheet, please.
And this is an annual report that's required?
Yeah,
Is that
annual
correct?
report that's
All right,
required.
thank you.
And in the past year, we're required to tell you how many new projects have come on, total costs, taxes collected. So I'm required to submit a report to the state every year, and then since we've been doing this, it seems like every year I take your recommendations and we tweak it a little bit, so it's a little bit easier to understand. So you can see in this past year, in 22, 23, we added convergence and then RBAC. And so RBAC just officially got approved the other day. So only 2 projects out of the whole, I think there's 24 total, were added in the past year. And our numbers are looking pretty staggering. And you can see down at the bottom, the total effect of what the TIF will mean and what we'll eventually bring in. So we have 3 old TIFs that are still being paid. A couple of them are getting pretty close to being paid in full. So once they're the 15 years, it's concluded, unless it would pay off faster. And there is one that is coming up pretty fast. So as taxes go up, valuations go up, that can accelerate if it's in the realm of the redevelopment plan. So yes, we're juggling a lot of them right at the moment. And then at the very top of the report, you'll see there's a couple of them that don't have base valuations yet. Those are our new property, or new TIFs. They have not divided yet. So those will be coming based on the redevelopers' wishes. I would suspect that 2 of the 3 for sure will come. So by the end of July, we have to notify the county assessor that those properties are going to divide. And then at that point, the base valuation kicks in, and then we have their increment at that point. So that's why those spaces look void. And then obviously we have not collected any TIF project or TIF taxes on those because they haven't divided yet. So any questions? Brent had a couple suggestions. He wants to see the total taxes paid. So he and I talked before the meeting, and I'll be adding that column. And then he had some questions on current valuations and things, and they were a couple of projects that were phased over 4 phases. So, estimated it looks like you're supposed to be 17, 18 million, and they're currently at 1 or 2. Well, that's because the phases haven't completed yet. So as those projects become complete, of course, their valuation is going to go up. So, any other questions?
Thank you, Heather. I appreciate your answers, prompt answers to my questions.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yep. So I will get that updated, and I can send that all out to you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Well, you have down that we are currently calling 25% of the city blighted and substandard. How high can that go to?
36%. 36%.
36. Okay. Very good.
But as the city grows, then that gets bigger too, so.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Brings us up to reports of council committees.
Item 10A, Public Property Safety and Works Committee of March 11th, 2023. Item 10A1, request of Clark Grant on behalf of Ferguson Properties Incorporated to extend the time period for completion of public improvements for Park Place 10th edition to April 17th, 2025. The Public Property Safety and Works Committee recommends the request to extend the completion of public improvements in Park Place 10th be approved.
Mr. Mayor, I move this committee report be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt this committee report. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 10A2, request of Clark Grant on behalf of Ferguson Properties Incorporated to extend the time period for completion of public improvements for Centennial Park 8th edition to April 17th, 2025. The Public Property Safety and Works Committee recommends approval.
April 17th.
April
I
7th.
think you said 18th.
17th.
Mr. Mayor, I move this committee report be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt this committee report. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 10A3, cost share of paving and infrastructure 2024. The Public Property Safety and Works Committee recommends the city cost share of paving and infrastructure for 2024 be approved.
Does, Rick, do you want to just touch this for just real quick on what it is we're talking about?
Sure. So depending on what the situation is, be it a development agreement or a participation that the city would have, as an example, If there's a 6-inch water line and the city needs it to be a larger water line, a 10-inch line or whatever, the difference between the 6 and 10 be picked up. So it's those types of costs. It's cost for concrete paving and removal. We talk to contractors every year. It went up really significantly since last year. I think it is averaged around 20%. So these are the new numbers in this report.
Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, I think we did that already, didn't we? Or do we need to ever adopt the report?
We need to yet.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt this committee report. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye, those opposed nay. Motion passed.
Item 10A4, Traffic Control Device Committee reports for the third and fourth quarter of 2023 and the first quarter of 2024. The Public Property Safety and Works Committee recommends approval of the quarterly reports.
I move this report be adopted.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to adopt the Traffic Control Device Committee report for third and fourth quarter. Any discussion, any comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye, those opposed nay. Motion passes.
Item 10B, Public Finance, Judiciary, and Personnel Committee of March 12th, 2024. Item 10B1, Financial and Compliance Audit for year-end September 30th, 2023. The Public Finance, Judiciary, and Personnel Committee recommends approval of the Financial and Compliance Audit with corrections to follow.
Mr. Mayor, move we adopt the report.
We have a motion and a second to adopt this committee report. Any need to comment further? It was an approved audit. I think it's a compliment to our staff. There was really no flags or anything that were presented in this committee report. Anyone have any questions? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 10B2, quote from Capital City Concepts in the amount of $22,000 for benefit and wage study for non-unionized city employees. The Public Finance, Judiciary, and Personnel Committee recommends approval of the quote from Capital City Concepts for a wage and benefit study.
Mr. Mayor, I motion the report be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the quote from Capital City Concepts for a wage and benefit study. Tammy or anyone just want to give a quick comment on why we're doing this? We do it every so often. I mean, just.
I can, if you want me to.
Or Tara,
Tammy,
please.
the city last did a wage and benefit analysis in 2019 of all non-unionized city employees, and it's been 5 years. It's typical for cities to complete a wage and benefit analysis every 3 to 5 years. We feel like we've been keeping up with everything the last 5 years, but it's good to do a double check, so that's why we're bringing this forward.
Very good.
Do you have a timeline?
They expect it to take about 3 months once we begin.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, comments? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 10C, Committee of the Whole, March 18th, 2024. 10C1, Water and Wastewater Rate Study. The Committee of the Whole recommends the rate adjustment of 3% annually for sewer and 9.5% annually for water over the next 5 years be approved.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this report.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt this committee report. Any discussion? I think it would be prudent to say that this was an Committee of the Whole meeting we had just prior to our council meeting. The package was laid out to us by HDR, who had completed the wastewater plan, the water and wastewater plan, and this was the proposed rate increases to take us through the future for both wastewater and then water, with some substantial facility upgrades and improvements within our water program. And there'll be much more detail coming out as we move forward. Does that sound about right? Any comments further? All right. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 10C2, the Water Master Plan. The Committee of the Whole recommends the Water Master Plan be approved.
Mr. Mayor, I move the report be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt this committee report. I could say the same thing that I just said. This is just, but I won't. So, any comments or further discussion regarding this? All right. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Brings us up to new business.
Item 13A, appointment of JoJo Dunn as Fire Captain.
What we're going to do is we have 3 appointments this evening to fire captain. We will introduce and read each candidate, and then we will ask the candidates to come forward and just introduce themselves so the public can say hello to you. All right?
In between,
No, I think we'll do it as we'll do
at the end.
at the end.
Okay.
Okay?
I don't want to break my rhythm here.
Go for it. You're on.
Council members, with your permission, the mayor would wish to submit the name of JoJo Dunn for appointment to the position of fire captain. Per council rules, the 2-week waiting period is waived for an appointment of a paid firefighter. Mr. Dunn was one of the 3 candidates certified for fire captain by the Civil Service Commission at their meeting held March 4th, 2024. JoJo Dunn is a resident of Humphrey and has been employed with the City of Columbus for 11 years. During that time, he has served in many different capacities, including as an acting supervisor, supply/pharmacy officer, and liaison to our medical director. He has also previous law enforcement experience and 18 years of experience as a paramedic. JoJo currently serves as the president of the IAFF Local 1575 and has played an instrumental role in the progress of the fire department over the past 2 years. Councilman, we appreciate a motion for this appointment.
Mr. Council President, I'd make a motion to approve JoJo Dunn as a fire captain, be ratified.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13B, appointment of Ryan Sabata as Fire Captain.
Once again, council members, the mayor wishes to submit the name of Ryan Sabata for appointment to the position of fire captain. Per council rules, the 2-week waiting period is waived for an appointment of a paid firefighter. Mr. Sabata was one of the 3 candidates certified for fire captain by the Civil Service Commission at their meeting held March 4th, 2024. Ryan Sabata is a resident of David City and has been employed with the City of Columbus for 9 years. During his service, he has been instrumental in the training of departmental personnel and has obtained many technical rescue certifications. Ryan has 24 years of total fire service experience and is also an instructor with the Nebraska State Fire Marshal. He is also owner-operator of his family farm, RJ Farms, and is very passionate about agriculture, which led Ryan to obtain over $100,000 in donations to build our very own grain bin technical rescue prop in 2023. Council people, we would appreciate a motion to accept this.
Mr. Council President, I would move that the mayor's appointment of Ryan Sabata as a fire captain be ratified.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13C, appointment of Derek Salick as Fire Captain.
Council members, once again, the mayor wishes to submit the name of Derek Salick for appointment to the position of fire captain. Per council rules, the 2-week waiting period is waived for an appointment of a paid firefighter. Mr. Salick was one of the 3 candidates certified for fire captain by the Civil Service Commission at their meeting held March 4th, 2024. Derek Salick is a resident of Columbus and has been employed with the City of Columbus for 4 years. He previously served as a volunteer with the Columbus Volunteer Fire Department before being hired as a full-time firefighter. Derek is a former mechanic and is passionate about ensuring the apparatus of our fire department are in working order. Last year, Derek created a department-wide apparatus maintenance plan and worked diligently to ensure the necessary repairs were being completed. His work with our apparatus has put our department in the best position possible to ensure that we're able to provide prompt responses. Council members, I would entertain a motion for Mr. Selleck's position.
Mr. Council President, I would move that the mayor's appointment of Derek Scalick as fire captain be ratified.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Gentlemen, would you please come forward and introduce yourself? Just come up together and one by one just tell us.
Not so fast, guys, not so fast.
Pretend the podium's on fire.
They're going
Come on up.
they're going to a burning building, but they won't walk up to a mic.
Hello, I'm Jojo Dunn. I've been with the City of Columbus since 2013. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. You guys have all seen me before. So.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Jojo.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Just want to say I'm honored to continue to serve Columbus and my fellow firefighters as fire captain, and I'll do my best to uphold the standards and traditions of the Columbus Fire Department.
Thanks,
you.
Ryan.
Congratulations.
Hello, my name is Derek Salick. It's an honor for me to accept this position. I've been a resident of Columbus for 36 years, so it's awesome to continue to serve my community.
Very good.
Glad to have you.
Thanks,
Thank you very
Derek.
much. It's items like these on the agenda that make these evenings a lot of fun. So we'll move on.
Item 13D, plans, specifications, estimate of cost in the amount of $340,000 and authorization to advertise for bids for the Fiber Network Project 2024. The plans and specifications are on file in the engineering department. This is CIP number 19-09.
Somebody, I need a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move the plan specifications, estimate of cost, and authorization to advertise for bids for the fiber network project for 2024 be approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13E, application of Stephen Rawmakers for preliminary plat of Farm View Second Subdivision, 16th Avenue and 31st Street. The Planning Commission recommends approval.
Mr. Mayor, move that the preliminary plat from Farmview Second Subdivision be approved. Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of the preliminary plat of Farmview Second Subdivision. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13F, administrative policies and standard operating guidelines for the fire department.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the fire department policies and guidelines be approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the administrative policies and standard operating guidelines for the fire department. Are there any discussion? Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none. If you did read through it, it's very in-depth and but never mind. All those in favor, please signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13G, comments from the mayor and city council members. In compliance with the Open Meetings Act, no discussion may be held on this item.
Do we have any council members with comments this evening? Yes, sir.
Last Saturday night, we had a great event happen at the 1C Church. It was called Cloud 9. It was an event that hosted individuals with developmental and physical challenges for what they called their prom night. It was an unbelievable event that was put on by a lot of volunteers. It was 236 participants, I believe, and another almost 300 volunteers on top of that. Some of these smiley faces were helpful with us as the fire department was there, the EMS and paramedics were available, and the sheriff's department. But just another example of how things can happen when people say yes to volunteer, and which makes Columbus a great place to live and something good in Columbus. I thank everybody for their efforts.
Any other comments? I would just add, remind the public that they can get online. We are in the process of trying to get public opinion on a downtown viaduct, really reaching out to try to get participation. If you haven't done so, we'd ask you to please log on and take the survey. All right, with that, we'll move on to resolutions.
Item 14A, resolution number R24-31, accepting the deed of dedication for the Flat Second Subdivision, a minor subdivision of lots 34 and 35, Block A, the Village First Edition, intersection of 25th Street and East Fifth Avenue. The Planning Commission recommends approval.
Mr. Mayor, I move that resolution number R24-31 be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number R24-31. We have any discussion?
Just a question. For,
Yes, sir.
Our attorney, a deed of dedication, help me with that.
Rick can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's basically the dedication of the public right-of-ways.
The public right away.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 14B, resolution number R24-32, approving the agency agreement with Nebraska Department of Transportation Aeronautics Division for AIP grant number 3-31-0019-018-2024 to obtain federal assistance for construction of an 8-place T-hangar at the airport. This is CIP number 23-30.
Mr. Mayor, I move that resolution number R24-32 be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution R24-32. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 14C, resolution number R24-33, approving the agency agreement with Nebraska Department of Transportation Aeronautics Division for BIL grant number 3-31-0019-019-2024 to obtain federal assistance for construction of 8-place T-hangar at the airport, CIP number 23-30.
Mr. Mayor, I move resolution number R24-33 be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt R24-33.
What's the difference? Just the AIP and the BIL? What do we got here?
They're separate pots of funding
Okay.
that we're pulling from to put together to fund the
Get that
90%.
1.3?
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, any other comments? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Ladies and gentlemen, meeting adjourned.